Dawn creeps over the savannah, pale and trembling. The horizon burns red with dust and heat. The blades of grass rustle in the wind. The air smells of thirst. The silence persists, until a single scream destroys him. The alarm of a gazelle. Brief. End. So nothing. Only the wind. Just dust. This is a land that devours itself. Lions prowl before dawn. Hyenas listen. The vultures wait. Everyone is caught in a perpetual war of survival. Welcome to bloody savannah. Here we will witness the eternal war of predators. The rains come late. The rivers are reduced to mud mirrors. The herds move further away, and yet life goes on. The teeth shine. The eyes narrow. The first hunt of the season begins. Under an acacia tree, a pride of lions, Panthera leo, awakens. The lionesses rise first, marked, tense, silent. They stretch, shake off the night, and gaze toward the horizon where the buffalo herds graze. The dry season has left the land bare. The water wells are mud wells. The air hums with thirst. The cubs whine, thin and restless. Their ribs are visible beneath the pale fur on their bellies. A mother nuzzles hers. Hunger is a daily occurrence here, but even experienced hunters feel the slow ache of scarcity. They wait for the wind to change. When it carries the scent of prey, the herd begins to move. They travel, crouched, their bellies brushing the brittle grass. A group of African buffalo rises a mile away, their dark bulk silhouetted against the faded horizon. The lionesses scatter, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. The pride senses them before they attack. A bull raises its head. He snorts and raises dust in the air. The training is maintained. The lionesses freeze. One look at each other and they are engaged. They stormed forward. The lead lioness pounces on a young buffalo at the edge of the herd. She closes quickly. The rest follow, circling, cutting off escape routes. But the buffalo are ready. The male charges. He faces the lioness head-on, his horns waving. She leaps, her claws finding flesh, but only for an instant. The bull twists, charging with brute force. The horn catches her flank, a scream, dust. She falls, her body spinning through the air before crashing to the ground. The pride advances at full speed. The lions scatter. Another attempt fails. Dust swirls as the herd disappears. The lionesses regroup, panting heavily. One falls behind. The bull's horn has grazed her flank. She's bleeding, but the wound isn't deep. She limps, testing her paw. The others stop. A low growl is heard among them. She's hurt, but she's not out. They approach together under the shade of a hawthorn bush. The wounded lioness crouches, licking the wound clean. Another joins her, stroking the tear. At dusk, the bleeding stops. The pain will fade. Pride will not abandon her. For days, she stays nearby, conserving her strength. Each night, the others hunt. When they return, their stomachs heavy, one always drags a piece of food toward her. She eats in small, slow bites. The wound hardens and then closes. A week later, she wakes up with them again. The limp persists, but the fire has returned to its rhythm. At midday, the lions retreat to the scant shade of the hawthorn bushes. The heat is oppressive. The pride spreads out, motionless but alert. This is how they endure. During the day, they fade into stillness. At night, they return to hunting. As night falls, the lionesses rise once more. The male follows them. He doesn't hunt, not often. His power lies in presence, in defending territory and lineage. Yet even he feels the pressure of hunger. A jackal howls in the distance. The lions ignore it. Tonight, they head toward a different sound. The low moan of a wildebeest near a dying watering hole. The herd circles again. They move with the wind, invisible until it's too late. The attack comes swiftly. A young wildebeest falls, its throat caught in the crushing grip of jaws that end in silence. The kill is shared frantically. The male eats first, then the lionesses. The cubs approach, growling. Around them the night breathes, the chorus of hyenas, the rustling of the grass. But victory never lasts here. Weeks pass. The dry season takes hold. The pack's territory shrinks as watering holes disappear. A male lion appears from the east, younger, stronger. He roared across the plains, his voice echoing like thunder. The old king responded. A confrontation was inevitable. Dawn came. The two males met near the edge of the herd. dust exploded beneath them as they collided. Claws scraped flesh, roars shake the air. The old king struggles with the fury of memory, but his strength fails. The younger lion's mane is darker, his muscles no longer bearing the scars of defeat. Within minutes, the old monarch falls, crushed beneath the weight of youth. A final roar fades into silence. The victor stands above him. The savannah accepts its new ruler. The old king limps away through the grass, bleeding, forgotten. He won't survive the week. The pride watches from a distance. The lionesses submit to the new male. The cubs, too young and vulnerable, become the first sacrifice. The new ruler quickly kills them. The lionesses endure it. By killing the cubs, the new male brings them back into heat. In this way, you ensure that your own bloodline replaces the old one. In a few months, new puppies will be born. Then comes the rains. The grass turns green almost overnight. Insects rise like mist. Life returns to the land. With the return of prey, the pride's fortunes change. The lionesses once again hunt successfully, zebras, warthogs, and antelopes. The cubs, born in the shadow of the new king, grow quickly. Now pride thrives. The male roars at dusk, signaling his dominance with his sound. His mane gleams in the damp light. In the tall grass, lionesses move in a sea of life, pride stretched to the horizon. The air vibrates with the buzzing of flies and the beating of hooves. The pack often hunts and also teaches the pups. Time marches on relentlessly. The cubs become subadults. The males begin to measure their strength against one another. The king watches, cautious. His authority is already challenged by the blood that bears his own scent. The migration begins. Clouds of dust rise as wildebeest and zebra move north. The herd follows, enjoying the bounty. For a time, the savannah is merciful. However, the season changes again. The rains cease. The rivers ebb. The grass turns yellow. The migration fades into memory. The air is once again filled with the smell of dust and bones. The pride moves easily through familiar territory. But one lioness remains behind. Her muzzle is grey now, her movements slower. She no longer participates in the hunts. Her eyes follow them from a distance. When the others eat, she waits her turn, taking what little is left. Once she was the best hunter, the first to attack, the one who fed them all. Now her claws dull against the dust. Days pass. One morning she doesn't rise when the pack departs. They move on without her. She watches them fade into the mist. The wind stirs her hair. The flies return. She lowers her head between her paws, breathing slowly and shallowly. At dusk, the hyenas find her. She raises her head and growls. The hyenas wait. When their breathing stops, they move forward. At dusk, the bones lie white in the sand, yet through this death, the cycle continues. Their blood feeds the earth, the insects, the grass, the prey that will feed the unborn lions. In the distance, the pride hunts again under the rising moon. The cubs play alongside freshly killed prey. His mother licks the blood from his fur. Another night settles on the savannah, a dark, soft coat. The heat fades, the insects rise, the shadows deepen. From the weeds a form emerges, silent, deliberate, invisible. A female leopard, Panthera pardus pardus. Her fur, patterned with gold and black rosettes, breaks up her silhouette perfectly. She's almost invisible, even when she moves. Her muscles tense beneath her fur. Each step is silent. Its wide legs distribute its weight evenly. Her claws remain sheathed until she needs them. She hunts alone, always. Every sound matters. The rustle of a mouse, the snort of an impala, the distant cough of a lion. She listens, head down and eyes squinting but alert. Tonight the wind is in her favor. He flies toward her from the clearing where impalas graze in the silver moonlight. He crouches. His breathing slows. The air tastes of dust and prey. He moves, a centimeter, then another. Closer now, 20 meters, 10. His tail flicks once. She throws herself. The impalas scatter in an instant. She zeroes in on one, a young female at the back of the herd. The chase is short and explosive. Her claws find meat. The impala stumbles and falls. The leopard's jaws close on its throat. Not a sound escapes. She drags the body to cover it. The hyenas can already be heard in the distance. She knows that sound all too well. She must move quickly. Her strength lies not in numbers or brute force. It lies in cunning and calculation. She grabs the impala with her jaws and begins to climb. The nearest tree is 20 feet tall. Its trunk is knotty, twisted branches. It ascends effortlessly, using its claws like hooks, flexing its body with perfect control. The prey hangs behind it, heavy but manageable. In an instant, it reaches a wide fork in the branches and lifts the carcass. Safe. An adult female leopard can carry prey heavier than herself, sometimes more than 70 kilograms. This is how much a young zebra or a large impala weighs. It's a strength born of design. Dense muscles stretching across the shoulders and forelimbs, short, powerful legs designed for climbing, and retractable claws that dig into bark like iron. This allows it to feed in peace above the chaos of the savannah. Below, the night stirs. A pair of hyenas slink out of the grass, drawn by the scent. Their eyes glow palely in the darkness. They circle, sniffing, frustrated. The leopard watches from above, motionless, its tail curled around the branch. The hyenas pace back and forth, growling, and move on. This is your domain, the vertical world, half forest, mid-heaven. Few predators dominate it like she does. Up here she eats in peace. Her jaws tear at the impala, her breathing steady. The meat is warm, rich, vital. For now, hunger slumbers. Dawn is almost here. After feeding well, she descends. She returns to the bushes where her cubs await. Two small figures wriggle in the shadows, still clumsy, still learning. They greet her with squeals and gentle paws. She lowers her head, nuzzles them, and they suckle her, their tiny jaws tugging at her belly. Her world is now divided. Hunter and mother assassin and guardian. The cubs must remain hidden. Hyenas, lions, and even baboons would kill them if they could. He has built his den under a fallen log, hidden among roots and stones. All entrances are narrow, and all scent trails are hidden. Even so, he moves them around often. They never sleep in the same place twice. As the sun sets, the leopard rests in the canopy. Its fur blends seamlessly with the mottled leaves. Flies buzz around its face. It twitches one ear, otherwise motionless. This separation may seem strange, but it's very natural for the leopard. Her cubs are still too young to follow her through the trees. The mother leaves them hidden in her den while she rests, hunts, and observes the landscape from above. The tree is both a lookout point and a refuge, high, cool, and safe from surprise attacks. From there, she can watch for danger, detect approaching predators, without leading them directly to their puppies. She doesn't rest next to them because staying there would attract attention. Her scent, her movements, or her prey could give away the den's location. So, while the cubs sleep hidden in the shadows, she keeps watch above, invisible. Below, the savannah throbs with heat. Antelopes gather in the shade, zebras swish their tails, lions slumber in the open. Hours pass. At dusk, she wakes. Last night's carcass hangs where she left it, sprawled across a fork in the branches, high above the scent line. Flies gather in the clouds. The meat darkens with heat. She tears at the meat slowly and precisely, pausing to listen between bites. Below, the hyenas surround her. They know she's up there, out of reach. When she's eaten her fill, she climbs down and returns to the den, her belly heavy and her whiskers stained. Her pups hear her before they see her. They stagger toward her, meowing, pressing their heads against her neck. She crouches down, licking their faces, washing the smell of sleep and earth from their fur. Then she regurgitates a small piece of meat, warm and half-digested. The cubs feed greedily, tearing it apart with their small teeth. The hyenas have moved east. The lions are already far away. It's time to leave. One by one, she carefully lifts her cubs, holding them by the scruff of their necks. She glides through the grass soundlessly, her tail lowered, the muscles twitching beneath her fur. The cubs don't cry. The new den is located a short distance away, under the roots of a termite mound. Here, the earth is dry, and the scent of their last resting place won't attract predators. She returns 3 times. At dawn, the cubs lie huddled in their new home, the entrance hidden by shade and leaves. She settles nearby, all her senses alert. The first song of the birds. The world begins again. Weeks go by. The dry season deepens. The river narrows to a trickle of stagnant pools. Prey is scarce. Hunger returns, sharp and cold. The leopard ventures further each night. Killing is difficult but essential. It must not exhaust itself, but sitting idly by is not an option either. Without their successes, the pups would starve to death. Only their incessant stalking and ambush covers them with the warmth of life. But this lean season doesn't last forever. When it rains, the world changes. Thunder rumbles across the plains. The air thickens with scents and sounds. The grass grows waist-high in a matter of days. The leopard moves through it like a liquid shadow. The half-grown cubs follow at a distance. They learn by observing how to crouch, how to read the wind, how to climb. He shows them the tree, the technique, the patience. He teaches them not to kill, but to disappear. A storm rages overhead. Lightning flashes across the plains. He climbs to the top of a marula tree, his fur covered in rain. Below, their pups crouch beneath the roots. The wind howls, tearing at the canopy. She waits, calm, motionless. In the following months, the great migration passes nearby. Wildebeest, zebras, gazelles, thousands upon thousands. The earth trembles beneath their hooves. For the leopard, this is both an opportunity and a danger. Prey is abundant, but so are other predators. Lions move north with their prides. Hyenas follow the migration in packs. Other leopards even invade their territory. One night she crosses paths with a male. He is larger, heavier, and his rosettes are darker. Their encounter is brief. A low growl, a tense circle, eyes found. He is not a partner, he is competition. She retreats, swishing her tail once, and disappears into the darkness. The hunt now becomes more dangerous. One mistake could cost him everything. He stalks a young gazelle under a clear, moonlit sky. But just as he's about to attack, a lioness emerges from the grass, scattering the pride. The leopard freezes and falls to the ground. The lioness passes by. When silence returns, she walks away, her hunger unsatisfied. A few nights later, she tries again. A monkey, dozing on a low branch, doesn't see her coming. The leap is clean, precise, deadly. She feeds quickly and efficiently. The cubs appear next, mewing softly. She lets them eat. They need strength, but not all dangers can be avoided. In the autumn season, when the grass turns yellow again and prey is scarce, the older cub, bold and curious, strays too far. A hyena finds him before she can. Her cry breaks the silence. She arrives too late. She charges, showing her claws and teeth. The hyena flees, but the cub remains motionless. She pushes at him once, twice. There is no response. He gasps for air. For a while, he remains there, head down, tail wagging. Then he lifts the body, carries it through the tall grass, and disappears. The remaining cub remains hidden. When she finally hunts again, she does so with renewed precision. Each step more precise, each movement more forceful. She catches a duiker, kills it without a fight, and returns to feed her surviving pup. Soon, the season ends. The rains fade. The dust returns to the air, soft and golden. The cub grows stronger. It is now old enough to climb and hunt on its own. One afternoon, the mother watches from high branches as her cub stalks a clumsy but determined guinea fowl. The bird takes flight. The cub jumps. It misses, but it tries again. A second attack, this time successful. The mother blinks slowly, pride hidden behind stillness. Soon they will separate. The cub will claim its own patch of forest. The mother will remain what she has always been, a solitary ambush predator. At nightfall, she climbs onto her favorite branch and stays there, watching the ground. The horizon burns with the last light of the day. Below, the savannah teems with life. Hyenas, lions, jackals. She closes her eyes. The wind stirs his fur. Around him, the branches creak softly. Tomorrow, he will hunt again. Meanwhile, a new dawn creeps over the savannah. Pale, cold. The fog clings to the grass. The air hums with the faint stench of blood and dust. This is the smell of the inevitable consequences of all life, death. The reality is all too familiar in these parts of the untamed desert. Under a thorny tree, shadows stir. The eyes shine in the darkness. Then comes the sound, a strange choir, half a laugh, half scream. The hyenas, crocuta, crocuta, are awakening. In the center lies the matriarch, powerful shoulders, marked snout, eyes piercing as obsidian. She stretches, shakes the dew from her fur, and stands. Around her, her clan moves in a careful hierarchy. The subordinates crouch down and greet her with submissive licks on her snout. His dominance is absolute. He remembers everything, the place where the lions hunt, the time of migrations, the scent of weakness. The clan's world is governed by strategy. Every morning the scouts scatter in all directions. Their noses read the wind like maps. They smell the carrion before the vultures see it. They hear the lions before the lions hear them. The matriarch listens for each explorer's return. To the west, a herd of buffalo moves, with some wounded among them. To the east, a pride of lions feeds on a kill, opportunity, danger. They move at dusk. The clan forms a loose phalanx, 15 adults, half a dozen juveniles. Silent, save for the occasional stifled chuckle, the sound of confidence disguised as madness. His stride is clumsy but relentless, built for distance, shoulders higher than hips, built to carry weight, to crush, to endure. They find the lions just after sunset. A half-eaten zebra lies sprawled in the dust. 3 lionesses guard it, their bellies swollen and their faces bloodied. The matriarch watches from a hill, the smell of decay permeating her nostrils. She waits. The hyenas waste no strength on the herd. They wait for the cracks. The lionesses are getting restless. One walks away into the bush, another lies down, panting. The matriarch gives a signal, a low, almost inaudible growl. The clan advances at a run. A cloud of dust rises. The lions growl, stand their ground. The hyenas scatter, circling, darting in and out, testing. The matriarch lunges, her jaws snapping at a lion's flank. The others join in its chaos, noise, dust, teeth. For a moment the balance falters, then a lioness falters. The hyenas take advantage of the gap. The zebra is theirs. The victory is brief, brutal, and thunderous. Laughter fills the air. They feed quickly. Jaws snap bones with a sound like breaking wood. The matriarch eats first, then the high-ranking females, then the rest. Nothing is wasted. Bones vanish between jaws made for destruction. The molars grind to the marrow. When they leave, there is no trace left except dust and a bloodstain. At midnight, the matriarch returns to the den. The scent of milk and earth is intense. Small heads emerge from the burrow, cubs black and round-eared, their fur still soft. They whine and howl, struggling to find space. She lowers her enormous head and allows them to feed. Someday their teeth will match hers, but for now they breastfeed. This lair is the art of her empire, guarded, secret, and passed down through generations of queens. Only women inherit rank here. The matriarch's daughters will command when she can no longer. Men come and go, temporarily and tolerated. The future is in your lineage. As the dry season progresses, the land changes. Rivers are reduced to trickles of mud. Corpses litter the plains, but so too are competitors. Hunger draws them all closer. The matriarch leads her clan through an increasingly dangerous world. The days go by. One afternoon, the smell of decay draws them to a thicket. They find a giraffe, long dead, half-eaten by vultures. But they are not alone. A coalition of young male lions guards what remains. The matriarch pauses. The young hyenas are restless, anxious, reckless. She waits. The sun sets. The lions become lazy and satiated. As evening falls, she signals again. The clan disperses. They are approaching from all sides. A lion charges, scattering the front ranks. Another one throws himself with his teeth bared. The matriarch feints, dodges, tries to bite a leg and retreats. The battle reignites. Finally, the lions retreat. The giraffe's carcass is claimed. The herd only advances when their bellies are heavy and full. The days blur together. Every death, every raid, every nighttime laugh marks a survival. Hyenas aren't scavengers by nature. They're opportunistic. They can hunt alone or in packs. Now the rains are about to arrive, and everything will change. When dawn finally breaks, the scent of petrichor will fill the plains. The water returns, and with it, abundance. The great herds migrate back, bringing calves, foals, and endless opportunities for fresh meat. The clan gorges itself on what the season bountifully offers. The pups emerge from the den, their fur mottled with the beginnings of spots. They chase beetles, fight in simulated combat, know your clan hierarchy. The matriarch watches from the shadows, half asleep but always aware. A sharp gaze maintains order, a growl imposes law. In the rainy months, power shifts. Lions hunt more, carcasses rot faster. Hyenas rely on precision more than desperation. They watch the winds, the flocks, the patterns of vultures in the sky. They hunt smaller prey when necessary, impalas, hares, and even flamingos on the lake shore. They always adapt, but new threats also emerge. Rain brings competition. Painted wolves and wild dogs roam these same territories. One morning, the matriarch's scouts find them near the marshes. Conflict is inevitable. At dusk, the two forces meet. A dozen wild dogs, lean and tireless, face 20 hyenas, heavier, louder, slower, but unyielding. The dogs attack first, lunging forward, snapping at paws and tails. The hyenas form a defensive group, their backs together and jaws extended. The matriarch roars and lunges. She grabs a dog by the flank and shakes it hard. The pack scatters. The dogs regroup, but don't return. The hyena's laughter echoes through the marshes. Still, victory brings harm. The matriarch limps afterward, a deep bite wound on her shoulder. It's been moving more slowly for a few days now. Rest more often. Her daughters notice. Weeks go by. His limp worsens. The younger females are beginning to assert themselves. They begin with small challenges at mealtime. In hyena society, power isn't won immediately. It erodes. The matriarch watches them as she once watched the lions. Soon, the migration continues. The carcasses decrease. The competition intensifies. One afternoon, she limps too far from the hunt. Her eldest daughter now leads, issuing orders with high-pitched growls. The matriarch follows at a distance, her breath coming in short gasps. They find a half-eaten wildebeest abandoned by vultures. The younger hyenas surround it, growling and feasting. The matriarch approaches slowly. One of the younger females blocks her path. A low growl vibrates between them. The matriarch bares her teeth. The young woman stands her ground. The others watch, silent, waiting. The fight is sudden, brutal, inevitable. The matriarch lunges, but her shoulder gives way. The younger female attacks. Dust flies. Blood splashes on the ground. The clan turns in a circle, watching the transfer of power. The old queen falls, gasping. The new one rises. At dawn, the matriarch crawls, collapsing under an acacia tree. Vultures gather in the sky. For the first time in years, she is alone. When the sun rises high, it never rises again. At dusk, they find his body. The jackals come first, then the vultures, then the insects. Her daughters now lead the clan. Her cubs are now large and fierce. Each will carry fragments of her mind. Night falls once more. The clan gathers for the kill, their cries rising on the wind. The hyenas move in unison. Beneath them, bones crunch. Vultures fly over them. The first glimmer of a new day spreads across the savannah. Sunlight spills like gold across the horizon, as far as the eye can see. Even now, the air trembles with heat. Through the tall, rustling grass, a figure moves. Neat, slender, almost spectral. A cheetah, a Synonyx jubatus, the mother. Her fur shines a pale gold. Her eyes are rimmed with black streaks that cut through the glare and sharpen the world. She lifts her head and surveys the plains. Her cubs hide behind her, 5 small bodies, still hairy from youth. They rolled in the shade, shooing away insects. She watched them, then turned back to the horizon. Her ribs were vaguely visible through her skin. It had been 2 days since her last hunt. Hunger hummed beneath her fur. The wind shifted, she froze. She lifted her head. Gazelle. A small herd, 200 meters to the east. He burrows deeper into the grass, tensing his muscles. The cubs instinctively crouch down, silent. The savannah quiets. Only the faint buzzing of flies or the gentle whisper of the wind breaks the silence. He moves. His tail drags like a living rudder. The herd grazes, heads bowed, unconscious. 50 meters, 30, 20. His breathing slows, then a flick of an ear in the herd, a head lifted. She is seen. She explodes from the grass. Acceleration, instant. Dust and sunlight slip past her. Her feet barely touch the ground. She moves at 100 kilometers per hour in seconds. The world blurs. Her target, a young gazelle, veers left. She spins with it, counterbalancing with her tail like a gyroscope. The gazelle zigzags, desperate. The cheetah follows her, almost floating, but the air heats up. Each stride consumes oxygen. Her vision narrows. 20 seconds. This is the limit of endurance. She jumps. Impact. A flash of dust and sound. The gazelle falls, thrashing. The cheetah grabs its throat, holding it until the tremors fade. Silence returns. She lies there panting, her sides heaving. The chase has consumed her completely. She still can't move. Every heartbeat is a risk. The lions could smell blood. The hyenas could be nearby. As soon as she catches her breath, she drags the carcass into the shadows. Her cubs appear, their eyes open. They feed quickly, tearing off small pieces, learning the taste of survival. The mother eats last. Her tongue scrapes bone, her eyes never linger. Her body is built for flight, not fighting. Light bones, long limbs, enormous lungs. A machine for acceleration, not endurance. Her claws don't fully retract. They grip the ground like staples. Even his spine flexes like a whip. Store energy and release it with each step, but all adaptation comes at a price. She can't fight the lions. She can't stand her ground. She wins by disappearing. As the sun rises, the heat presses. The cubs collapse in the shade, panting. She lies nearby, half awake, her ears twitching at every sound. But even rest is temporary. The smell of carrion travels far and wide, and she knows it. At dusk, the vultures begin to fly overhead. They drive away their cubs, leaving only crushed grass and a bloodstain. The night belongs to the hyenas, the lions, and the leopards, and so the days pass. The dry season deepens, water wells are shrinking, the prey disperses. Now she is forced to hunt during the day. His fur darkens with dust. Her puppies become more daring, but the danger grows with them. One morning, the cheetah spots a small group of impalas, the perfect prey. But the open terrain offers no shelter. She crouches anyway, her muscles tensing. She must try. She runs. The impalas scatter. She closes the distance, her gaze fixed on one. But the heat is rising rapidly. His lungs are burning. His paws kick sand. 20 seconds. 30. His step falters. The impala escapes into the thorn bushes. She collapses, her chest heaving. A failed hunt means another day of hunger. She stays still, waiting for her pulse to slow. The cubs find her and press against her, confused. She licks them absent-mindedly, too weak to rise. That night she hunts again. This time she succeeds. A hare, small but enough. The puppies eat. For her it's just a matter of survival. Weeks pass. The air thickens with the promise of rain. The first drops fall, and then a million more. The savannah exhales. The grass returns, and with it the herds. Now the mother thrives. The earth takes cover again. She can lurk again, unseen. Hunting is easier. Her puppies learn to follow her silently. Wait for your signal. A wag of the tail. A ripple of muscle. She shows them how to climb the termite mounds, how to read the wind, how to disappear. They practice chasing, launching themselves after grasshoppers and birds, their bodies already mimicking their fluid grace. They fail again and again, but each run brings them precision. The mother watches, patient, proud. The rains turn the rivers into silver ribbons. For a short time, the world is generous. The cheetah hunts frequently, bringing down gazelles, even a young wildebeest. Their cubs grow sleek and strong. Their fur darkens. Their spots become more pronounced and lighter. But abundance breeds competition. Lions move north with the prides. Leopards hunt along the tree lines. Even hyenas become daring. One afternoon, she kills a young gazelle and drags it to a shady acacia tree. Her cubs eat eagerly. Then a shadow passes. A leopard, attracted by its scent, emerges from the branches. The mother freezes, her body curled up. The leopard hisses and wags its tail. She can't fight it. She grunts and pulls away. The leopard takes its prey, but she and her cubs will live to see another day. The mother guides her cubs through the tall grass, always on the move, always searching for ground untouched by stronger animals. They find a ridge overlooking the plains, dry, calm, safe. But safety never lasts. As the sun turns red on the horizon, she goes hunting again. A young impala stands alone. She runs. The cubs watch her from the ridge, their eyes wide and amazed. She approaches. 15 meters. 10. Suddenly a roar. Lions. They head off in the opposite direction, attracted by the same prey. The impala flees. The cheetah stops suddenly, turns and runs in the opposite direction. The lions chase her briefly, but she escapes. The cubs scatter into the grass. When she finds them hours later, one is missing. She searches until dawn. Nothing remains but a faint, fading trail. Days pass. Now only 4 cubs remain. She keeps them close. Every shadow seems like a threat. Every gust of wind is a warning. The rains fade away. The grass turns yellow. The rivers shrink once again. His body becomes thinner. His steps are slow. Still, she hunts because she must. Her puppies still depend on her. They are old enough to run, but too young to survive alone. She spots a Thompson's gazelle grazing near a dry stream bed. Her last chance before the heat becomes unbearable. She crouches, breathing evenly. She squints. She runs, faster than before. The gazelle takes off. She gains ground. The air burns her throat. The dust blinds her. She pushes harder, stretches her legs and grabs the ground with her claws. She jumps. Impact. They fall. The gazelle kicks once, twice. Then stillness. He stands beside her, his flanks heaving, trembling. His heart feels like fire in his chest. For a long moment he can't move. Then he calls softly. A twitter in the dry air. The cubs come running. They feed quickly. She watches them, her breathing now slow. The sun rises higher. The heat gleams. She lies beside the carcass, her eyes half closed. Her flanks rise and fall. Cubs play around her. By nightfall, only bones remain. Hyenas caw in the distance. Lions roar even further away. She turns to her pups. 4 shadows against the moonlight. Now they are strong, fast. They have already inherited their fire. Soon they will disperse and each become their own ghost in the grass. When morning comes, she moves again. Dawn spills over the horizon again. The plains are covered with molten gold. A chorus rises from the meadows. High-pitched screams, soft moans, the low hum of purpose. The wild dogs, Lycaon pictus, are awake. They spread out as one, a mottled mosaic of gold, black and white. Their coats gleam in the morning light. No two are alike, as if the savannah itself painted them to disappear. 50 meters away, the alpha pair stands nose to nose. Around them, the herd forms a restless circle, 21 individuals, a heartbeat. Every dog has a role, the explorers, the hunters, the murderers, the guards. A soft squeak from the alpha female breaks the silence. The herd responds instantly, tails raised and ears pricked. The hunt begins. They move with perfect cohesion. The air still retains the crispness of the night, perfect for running. Ahead is a herd of impala. The wind brings its scent, faint and sweet. The herd fan out, its movements fluid, almost choreographed. The chase begins. One dog scares the herd from the left. Another chases them from the right. The impalas scatter. The dogs focus on one target, a young male, with hesitant steps. The herd accelerates. Each runner takes a turn leading, conserving energy. After minutes of chasing, the impala stumbles. The dogs are approaching. The first one jumps, grabbing its leg. Another grabs its throat. It's over in seconds. The pack eats together. No hierarchy, no fighting. The pups and the wounded eat first, the adults keeping watch on the perimeter. Cooperation, not conflict, defines them. Their bodies glow with blood and heat, and their tails twitch triumphantly. At midday, the heat is oppressive. The pack retreats to the shade of a termite mound. The alpha female rests, her belly swollen with the babies about to be born. Others groom her, licking her ears and cleaning her fur. Around them, the younger dogs doze, their paws twitching at the memory of the chase. Morning fades into the stillness of midday. At dusk, the pack gathers again. The hunt will not resume tonight. They have eaten well. Instead, they head for their den, hidden under tangled roots, its entrance narrow and shadowy. Soft moans resonate from inside. This is the sound of the puppies from last season. They run off when the adults arrive, tails wagging and voices blaring. The air is filled with greetings, squeals, chirps and nuzzles. Inside, a cub limps. Its leg is broken. It's healed, but in a bad way. It can't hunt or run. Still, it lives, and the others feed it daily. When the pack eats, one of its members always brings food back. The days pass. The dry season intensifies. Watering holes shrink. The grass becomes brittle. For lions and leopards, hunger breeds aggression. For dogs, it gives them focus. Stamina is their advantage. Where others tire, they persist. At dusk, another hunt begins. The herd moves low in the dust. Up ahead, there's a herd of wildebeest, too big, too strong, but the herd doesn't charge blindly. They isolate themselves, separate themselves, and calculate. A young dog charges forward, barking sharply and quickly. The herd moves, confused. Another dog bursts in from the opposite side. Clouds of dust rise, then chaos. A calf escapes. The herd moves forward at full speed, sleek bodies snaking through the dust and hooves. The calf stumbles. The hunt is over, but the sound carries far into the dry air. The hyenas are approaching. Their laughter cuts through the twilight. The dogs raise their heads, their ears twitching. The alpha male barks once. The herd moves quickly, stripping everything it can. The hyenas arrive soon. They outnumber dogs, overcome them. The matriarch grunts. The pack stands firm. They charge forward, snapping, coordinated, precise. The hyenas hesitate. They are not easy prey, but their numbers speak volumes. The dogs retreat. The hyenas eat noisily, tearing apart what remains. Back in the safety of the forest, they regroup. Tomorrow they will hunt again. Weeks later, the rains come. Thunder opens the sky. The plains turn green in a matter of days. The streams are filled. The smell of life returns. Mud, insects, newborns. For the pack, this is a season of plenty. In the den, the alpha female gives birth. Small, blind pink bodies writhe against her belly. The pack gathers at the entrance, listening, watching. For weeks, she won't leave. The others bring her food daily, regurgitating meat into her waiting mouth. She feeds the pups, and the pack feeds her. When the young finally emerge, the world greets them with light and movement. They blink, waddle, squeal. The adults surround them, gently nuzzling them with their snouts, their tails raised and wagging. The rains bring abundance, but also risk. Growing prides draw lions north, and with them, trouble. The dogs avoid direct conflict. They are now nomadic, frequently moving to new areas and carrying their pups when necessary. But migration season also brings competition. One afternoon, as the pack heads toward a river crossing, the scent of hyenas wafts through the air. The dogs freeze. Their last encounter left scars. The alpha male raises his head and puts his ears up. The sound of laughter grows louder. The confrontation is brief and brutal. The hyenas descend. The dogs scatter. It's a strategy. Half of them fend off the attackers, biting and weaving. The rest protect the pups, forming a circle of teeth and determination. The fight ends with no casualties. The hyenas retreat in frustration. The dogs regroup, licking each other's wounds, searching for the one who has lost his way. Not one is missing. As the season ends, the rains fade and the air grows heavy once more. The grass turns golden again, the rivers ebb. But now another threat emerges, unseen, scentless, a disease. It starts with one of the foals, coughing, weak, unable to keep up. Within days, others will follow suit. His energy fades, dull eyes, the hunts are faltering, the herd slows down. One morning, the limping cub, once so carefully fed, lies motionless outside the den. The pack gathers around him in silence, a gentle nudge, a whimper, and then they move on. The weeks shorten, the numbers dwindle. Once 21, now 14. The alpha female is emaciated and has sunken sides, but she still leads. When she calls, others answer. Their voices rise in unison. One night they go hunting again, a final test. The sun fades over the horizon. The air is cool and fresh. A lone gazelle is spotted. The alpha male begins the chase. The others follow in perfect step with fluid movements. For a moment it feels like old times. The gazelle falls, the herd feeds. For a while there is peace. Then slowly the alpha male lies back. His breathing becomes labored. The herd remains by his side until night swallows the plains. Days later, the survivors continue on. The alpha female leads less now, but her pace is steady. The stronger pups run ahead. The earth has reclaimed the weak. At dawn, the pack runs again. The rhythm returns. They hunt, they share, they hold on. Miles away, the Mara River is calm at dawn. The fog moves low over the water. It curls around the reeds like smoke. Beneath that mirror surface, something ancient awaits, a wave, barely visible, a slight tremor in the mud. The Nile crocodile, Crocodilus niloticus, has been motionless for hours. It doesn't need to. Its squinting eyes rise to the surface, motionless, unblinking. They see everything. A heron flies low over the current. The faint splashing of fish breaks the silence. The crocodile records everything, not only with sight. Every flake of skin is a sensor, tuned to vibration. Even the slightest disturbance tells a story. He listens with his body. He waits with his mind. For now, the river yields little. It is the dry season. The water has retreated into a narrow, slow vein. It meanders through cracked earth. The fish are few. The hippos are restless. The air is thick with dust and rot. The crocodile world is shrinking. But this is not new. He has witnessed 40 dry seasons. He has seen rivers disappear and return. He has seen generations of antelope drink and disappear. His armor bears the scars of decades. He pushes deeper into the shallows, submerging everything but his eyes and nostrils. The minutes pass, hours. The sun rises, baking the mud until it cracks. His heart rate slows, only 2 beats per minute. He slips into a kind of sleepless death. This is lethargy, a living pause. The heat rises, the insects buzz, and the crocodile becomes part of the earth itself. As the water recedes further, smaller fish move into the pools. He finally moves, a weak movement, a wave that spreads outwards. Then, a blur of muscle and teeth. The attack is instantaneous. It snaps its jaws shut, lifting a writhing tilapia from the shallows. There's no struggle. The jaws crush bone and flesh. One gulp and it's gone. Then again, stillness. Its digestion is slow. The metabolism is frugal. Every ounce of energy is rationed. When food is scarce, it conserves heat by lying in the mud in the shade, its nostrils tightly closed and its body half buried. To the untrained eye, it might appear dead, but beneath that clay crust, the ancient reptile is ready to attack if disturbed. Meanwhile, the dry season continues. The river has become a chain of isolated pools. The crocodile moves between them, dragging its immense body through the dust. Its belly scrapes the earth, its tail pushes through. It shares the ever-shrinking pools with others of its species. Some are young, others old and scarred like him. There are silent confrontations, low growls, flashes of teeth, but they rarely fight to the death. Then one day the sky changes. It begins as a low, distant but growing murmur. Clouds form on the horizon, dark and looming. The wind changes. Dust transforms into a scent. It rains. Fat drops fall, slowly at first, then faster. The earth hisses, sucking deeply. In a matter of hours, the dry river swells. Water roars from the highlands, brown with silt and foam. The pools merge and become a torrent. The crocodile, once covered in clay, resurfaces. The river comes back to life. Days later, the stream teems with fish carried upstream, catfish, barbel, and tilapia. Then one morning, the plains themselves begin to move. The migration has arrived. Thousands of wildebeest and zebra approach the crossing. The river waits, swollen, muddy, misleading. On the shore, the crocodile floats, its gaze fixed on the other side. Others join it. The first hooves touch the water. The pack hesitates, snorts, and huddles together. Then, as one, they move forward at full speed. The crocodile moves. His body emerges from the depths. An explosion of water. Open jaws, bone against bone. It clings to the flank of a wildebeest, twisting violently. The current churns red. Another crocodile joins, then another. The chaos becomes ritual. Every year, this journey is repeated. It drags the body down, anchoring it beneath a submerged log. Bite, twist, tear. The death lap begins, with muscle and momentum tearing flesh from bone. The water fills with silt and silence. When it feeds, it doesn't gorge itself immediately. The river itself helps it. It wedges the carcass under the rocks, allowing the current to soften it over the days. The rot turns tender. Digestion begins before swallowing. Around him, others are also feeding. A dozen crocodiles share the spoils. The fights are brief. In the following days, the river clears again. The fish return to feed on what's left. The crocodile rests again, its belly full. Small birds, such as plovers, hop on its back, catching parasites. He tolerates them. As the months pass, the rains diminish. The river begins its slow retreat. The crocodile's body swells with accumulated fat. Its energy diminishes again. At night, it lies half submerged near the shore, motionless but awake. The moon shines in its eyes. Your body rests, but your senses never truly sleep. A young antelope approaches the shore. The crocodile waits, invisible. The seconds drag on. Then a whisper of movement, a flick of a tail, a surge of power. The blow is silent until impact. Water spurts, the antelope screams and then disappears. It holds its body beneath the surface, waiting for the movement to cease. The bubbles rise. Stillness returns. Another life consumed by the river judge. However, not all of his hunts are successful. Some prey escape. A hoof hits his snout. He recoils, jaws slicing through the air. Another time, the current betrays him, ripping open his body. As the year ends, the river shrinks once more. The cycle narrows. The crocodile grows more slowly. His scars deepen. Algae accumulates in the grooves of his scales. He drags himself to a sandbank, half submerged in water, half in the sun. There he will rest, day after day, while his heart reduces to a whisper. He opens his jaws wide, regulating his heat through evaporation. The inside of her mouth glows a pale pink. Around him, the babies compete for space. Some get too close. He responds with a low roar. They retreat. As night falls, he slides back toward the river. The water cools his body, restoring his rhythm. Bats flutter in the air. The frogs begin their night song. The crocodile sinks beneath everything. Another year is coming to a close. The rains will return. The flocks will return. He will be here. Another dawn breaks silently on the savannah. The air is fresh. The grass is heavy with dew. The first songs of the hornbills resonate among the acacia trees. Two shapes move in the gloom, low, fast, silent. This is a pair of black-backed jackals, Lupulella mesomelis. Together they emerge when others are resting, feeding in the shadow of much more powerful hunters. A lion's kill is nearby, vultures crowd in the branches, hyenas patrol the borders. The jackals are also waiting. The female tilts her head, watching. Her mate crouches beside her, his tail swishing. While the hyenas argue among themselves, the pair moves. Quick steps, soft as breath. Their paws barely stir up the dust. They run in. A torn hindquarter lies at the edge of the kill. The male snatches a piece of meat and disappears before the hyena even turns around. The female follows, grabbing another piece. 2 seconds later they disappear, gliding through the grass, the prey clenched in their jaws. A chorus of fury erupts behind them. But they are shadows once again. They eat beneath a low hawthorn tree, swift and silent. That's how they live. They are paired for life, partners in every sense. Together, they hunt, scavenge, and raise their young. As the sun rises, the warmth stills the world. The jackals retreat into the shade. The female's belly is swollen. She will soon give birth. The male grooms her ears and then stands watch, his eyes scanning the grass for movement. Danger lurks. Dusk brings wind and movement. The jackals rise again, their voices raised in duet. Mysterious, melodic, unequivocal. Their calls echo and are weakly answered by another pair in the distance. The dry season quickens its pace. Watering holes are reduced to muddy basins. The air buzzes with flies. Food is scarce. The jackals adapt. They follow the herds, searching for carrion insects crushed under their hooves, digging for beetle grubs and snapping at grasshoppers. Nothing is too small, nothing worth noting. One afternoon, the male smells rot. He leads his mate through the undergrowth to the remains of a warthog carcass. It's almost bone, stripped by vultures. Yet there's marrow inside. He gnaws carefully. The female keeps watch. A shadow passes overhead. A tawny eagle circles low. The jackals freeze. The bird swoops down once just to test, then again lower down. The female barks, a short, harsh sound. It stands firm. The eagle doubts. Spread your wings. He retires. Now they can feed themselves without hesitation. Later that night, the pair gets too close to a lioness and her cubs. The male pricked his ears. He froze. Too late. The lioness emerged from the shadows, muscles tensed, jaws open. The jackals scatter. Dust and moonlight diffuse. The lioness lunges, but narrowly misses. The male twists sharply, crossing a patch of thorny scrub. The lioness stops and growls. The jackals disappear into the night, panting and shivering. Weeks later, in the fragile stillness of the end of the dry season, the female gives birth. In a shallow burrow, beneath tangled roots, 4 young lie blind and shivering against her belly. The burrow smells of milk, earth, and secrets. For days, she doesn't emerge. The male brings food. He drops it gently into the doorway. He stands guard while she breastfeeds them. Outside, the world goes on. Hyenas scavenge. Vultures fly in circles. The lions roar. Inside, there is only warmth and heartbeat. When the rains finally come, they do so with violence. The first storm breaks the heat with thunder that rolls like drums. Water floods the earth, fills the cracks, and revives the scent of green. Termites swarm out of their nests and jackals gorge themselves. Frogs appear in countless numbers. For the first time in months, food is everywhere. The young grow quickly. Within weeks, they open their eyes and stumble into the sunlight. Their coats gleam gold and black, tiny mirrors of their parents. The female watches them chase beetles through the damp grass. For a brief moment, life feels abundant, almost gentle. But here kindness never lasts long. A martial eagle detects movement below, the flash of a small body exposed. It leans forward, silent and sudden. The female barks loudly, swooping down from the undergrowth. The eagle veers, grazing her shoulder with its talons. It howls but stands firm. The raptor turns and disappears into the clouds. The puppies press against her legs, trembling. She licks their heads, stabilizing them. By the time the migration begins, the calves are weaned, agile and learning to hunt alongside their parents. Wildebeest and zebras fill the horizon. Jackals follow in their wake, invisible but omnipresent. Every crossing, every stampede, every lion they kill is an opportunity. They follow predators and collect what is left. Some days they feed on meat scraps, others about dung beetles or lizards. They are the recyclers of the savannah. At dusk, they hunt on their own. They hunt mainly small game, rodents, hares, and bird eggs. The male stalks a francolin near the reeds, crouching, stepping carefully. A swift charge. The bird barely squeals before disappearing. The young join in, wagging their tails. Sometimes they fail. Soon the rains will recede. The earth begins to dry out again. The flocks continue on their way. Jackals do the same. The cubs, now slim and confident, begin to wander off each night. Their parents still guide them, but with less closeness. Soon the family will separate. The male and female continue to hunt together without breaking their bond. They share a small kill, a dying gazelle calf. They feed in silence, each taking turns. When the meal is over, they rest next to each other. Days pass. The young, now almost adults, still hang around the den. They guide them to the edges of the watering holes, teach them where to look for crabs, when to move, and when to disappear. When the first rains of the new season fall, the pair leaves. Meanwhile, from above, the savannah looks different. The sky is vast. The land below seems endless. The heat shines on the plains, bending light and distance. High above everything, a shadow floats, wide wings, 10 feet wide, cutting invisible currents, silent, sovereign, looking. A martial eagle, Polymatus bellicosus, soars through the wind. From this height it sees everything, the herds moving between watering holes, the dust of the elephant trails, the faint flapping of wings on a termite mound. Its vision is unparalleled. She can spot a hare from 2 kilometers away, the tick of a lizard in the grass. She leans slightly and tilts her head. His golden eyes fix on something, movement at the edge of an acacia forest. A mongoose searching for food too far from its hiding place, his muscles tense. She folds her wings. Autumn begins. It swoops down from the sky, a blur of feathers and fury. In seconds, it plummets faster than a cheetah. The mongoose senses the change too late, a flash of wings, a cloud of dust, and silence. When it rises again, its prey hangs limply in its talons. She climbs now with effort. The slaughter is heavy, but his strength is also immense. Its wings beat slowly, lifting the body and load towards its perch. It's a weathered tree that stands alone. It lands, folds its wings, and begins to feed. Its curved beak tears cleanly through fur and flesh. It eats quickly, watching between bites. Nothing goes unnoticed, not even the distant call of vultures, not even the scent of a lion carried by the breeze. The day is getting hotter. The air ripples. It rises again, rising with the thermals, circling higher with barely a flap of its wings. Below, life unfolds and unravels in equal measure. Lions relax near prey, hyenas drag bones, and antelopes graze with twitching ears. From heaven she witnesses everything, the endless war of predators and prey. But even for her, the dry season is cruel. Prey becomes scarcer as the water disappears. The herds move away, and the ground cracks in the sun. She must adapt. Now she watches longer, waits harder. Sometimes hunger drives her to search for food, but she is not alone. Her mate is a lifelong companion. Every morning he patrols the southern boundary while she hunts the northern. At midday they meet on the thermals, their paths crossing high above. A brief cry, an aerial dance, and they part again. Its nest is located in a tall tree near the bend of the river. It's a fortress of sticks and bones. From it they see the entire floodplain. It constantly expands, bringing in new twigs and covering it with leaves. For months it has cared for a single white egg. Now it moves. The rains also come with thunder. The river rises. The air becomes alive. Below, wildebeest calves stumble in the mud. Frogs sing from the puddles. Insects fill the air like living dust. In the nest, the egg breaks. At dawn, a wet, shivering chick emerges, eyes closed, voice faint as the wind. The eagle lowers its head and touches it with its beak. For days it doesn't leave. Its mate hunts for both of them, bringing back doves, hares, and sometimes a still wriggling lizard. She feeds the chick with small, deliberate movements. The rains bring life and danger. Storms tear at the canopy, bending the nest branch until it creaks. Lightning flashes white over the plains. The chick burrows beneath its breast, shivering, but the tree holds. Weeks go by, the color changes into feathers. The chick peeks over the edge, restless. Hunger sets the pace. Each day the parents take turns. One hunts, the other watches. The male often returns, prey firmly clutched in his talons, a francolin, a hare, sometimes a still wriggling lizard. The female tears the food into small pieces, then feed the chick carefully. The chick leans further over the edge every day. Then comes the first flight. The female watches from a nearby branch as the chick hops, flutters, and hesitates. Then it hops. For a breathless moment it falls, then the air catches it. The young martial artist tumbles clumsily, learning the language of the wind. The mother calls, but heaven has no mercy. A tawny eagle swoops down, talons flashing. The chick twitches too late. The mother pounces and her mate joins from above. Together they attack. The intruder stumbles and flees. When the air calms, they return to their chick. It clings to a branch, trembling, but it's alive. As the rains decrease, both parents teach him to hunt, fails again and again. A dove escapes. A hare runs into the bush, but perseverance soon pays off. One morning, success, a graffiti, a clean wound. The parents form a circle at the top. In the following dry season, the chick leaves. It moves west in a thermal direction. The couple watches as it disappears over the horizon. Below, the plains are moving again. Wildebeest, zebra, lions, vultures, life and death move as one. The two eagles remain. They hunt when they must and rest when they can. Meanwhile, life also clings to the ground here on the savannah. Beneath the sun-cracked skin of the earth, a shadow moves. It slides between roots and rocks, silent, ancient. The scales whisper against the dust. A slight shine betrays its size. 5 meters. This is the African rock python, Python sebai. At dawn it emerges from a hollowed-out termite mound. It hasn't eaten in weeks. Its tongue flicks and picks up invisible scent trails. It doesn't see its prey. It feels it, a faint whisper ahead. The gerbils, fat with seeds, run from shadow to shadow. She lowers her head, her body flattened. Minutes pass, then hours. The sun rises, burns, fades again. She doesn't move. When one finally gets too close, the beam is silent. The jaws open wider than the mind can comprehend. The fight ends quickly under the pressure of the constrictor muscles that crush the bones. She swallows slowly. After feeding, she heads for the coolness of a shady burrow. There she lies for days, digesting. Her heart slows, her blood thickens. Weeks pass, the dry season deepens. The watering holes are reduced to mud. The air resonates with heat. On the surface, despair reigns. Down below, the python sleeps. It coils deep within the earth, wrapped in its own body. Its temperature drops with the earth. Around it, termites rebuild, rodents burrow, beetles slink away in the darkness. And then one morning, the rains come. Frogs come out of burrows. Rodents come out of their hiding places en masse. Insects dance in the clouds. The savannah, silenced for so long, is reborn. The python also moves. With its scales slick with moisture, it slides from its den. The air is full of possibilities. It heads for a reed bed near the swollen river, where frogs croak and mice scurry. There it waits, its patterned skin melting into mud and light. The hours pass. Then a wave. A frog jumps. Another one follows. A movement near his jaw. The blow is instantaneous. It coils, stifling movement itself. When it uncoils again, life is over. The rains are benign. There is prey in abundance. For weeks it feeds on frogs, rats, and even a young hare. Each meal fuels its new growth. Its belly swells. Its scales stretch and shine like polished bronze. During the day it hunts in the water. At night she crosses game trails, her heat-sensitive pits guiding her toward warmth and movement. A curious mongoose dares to approach. It freezes too late. The attack ends its curiosity forever. Weeks later, it chooses a hollow log as a refuge. It is damp and dark, full of roots. Here you will shed your skin. His eyes become cloudy. His vision fades. Beneath the old layer, a new one forms, smooth and perfect. It rubs against the bark, sloughing off. The dull skin peels away in a single ghostly tube. It slides forward, renewed. Nearby, the rains have brought the breeding season. Male pythons gather together, attracted by the smell. They find her, coiling around her in a slow, winding struggle. Muscles tense, bodies knotted in an ancient ritual. For hours, they fight in silence, each trying to crush the other to the ground. One finally gives in, slipping away. The victor remains. Together, they disappear into the grass, where the cycle continues unseen. Months later, she lays her eggs deep in a hole, away from prying eyes and predators. 30 gleaming ovals, buried in warm earth. Most snakes abandon their eggs, but not her. She stays, coiled around them like a living wall. She protects them fiercely. The dry season returns. When the first egg hatches, a tiny head emerges, thrusting its tongue into the new world. Then another and another. Dozens of tiny snakes are released. She lifts her head and watches them drift away. Her duty is over. Her strength is failing. She hasn't eaten in months. The skin on its flanks hangs loose. His movements are slow. He finds a rocky crevice near a dying stream and curls up inside. She drinks once, deeply, then lies still. For days she doesn't move. When the time comes, it will attack, kill and feed again. That's life on the savannah. Kill or be killed.